All right, so we're back. So chargers. Before you start, go ahead and figure out how to charge your battery. There's two kind of major batteries that you're going to see with connectors on them. These are essentially, this battery pack has an XT60 connector on it and a JST charge connector. These are the JST charge connector is pretty dominant right now in terms of the market. Here's another battery pack that has a different kind of connector. It's been called the Cheetah connector or other various designations, but it is long, skinny red connectors that have a little slightly different dynamic. But these are the major connectors I think that you're going to find in the marketplace. This has the same charging connector as this battery here. Okay, so these are pretty universal. There's a lot more alternatives in how you're going to connect the battery to the speed control. So let's start with maybe the simplest way to charge, and this is a kit offering that we've had, which is a very nice Blue Arrow charger. Doesn't put out a lot of energy, but it's enough to charge a battery in about 3 hours. Chargers are expensive, unfortunately. Giving you a good charger would up the you can get them for about $45. A charger, and I'll show you one of those in a second. So if you have this charger, read the instructions. Please read the instructions. But in any case, there's a jumper here that sets the charge rate. On no account, and I've had multiple people do this, take these very enticing-looking header pins and take your charge connector and connect them in there. That will generate a short circuit, destroy the battery, and probably destroy the charger. All right. The place where the charge connector goes, and this will work for either battery pack that we're working with here, is in this slot here for 2 cells, and the charging lead goes in there. And the next question is how we're going to power it. And there's 2 routes. This requires some kind of 12 to 15 volt supply of energy. The most obvious one is to go ahead and run it off of something like this, which is a gel cell or a car battery, and you take the included leads, and red goes to red, and that's positive, and black goes to black, that's negative. If you're doing this in your car, do not leave the battery someplace flammable. And then you see here, there's a nice little spot that you can connect it, and that goes there. And lo and behold, we have Blinky, and we have Charge Blinky as well. If you can, it's not quite coming through. I'm getting overwhelmed there. Anyway, both lights are on. There you go. All right, so we're charging. This will take a completely depleted battery. It'll take about 3 hours to charge because it's charging at 550 milliamps. You'll see this is an 1800 milliamp battery with losses. You're basically going to be looking at 3 hours, 3.5 hours to charge a completely depleted battery. Generally, you don't have completely depleted batteries, but that's how the math works out. Batteries ship about 70% charge, so this should charge pretty quickly. All right, so that's method A of powering this charger. We'll unplug it. Method B of powering this charger is if you're an apartment dweller, like most people in New York City, or don't have access to a car, or not easily enough to charge off of it, then you take a wall wart like this. This is an old Chumby wall wart that I had laying around that produces 12 volts at 1 amp, which is sufficient to drive this charger. So I just go plug that in, get the connector, and generally they size the connectors now so that 12 volts is a certain size, so you can't really make a mistake. And in it goes. And we have charging happiness again. All right, so that's the other way to run that charger is with some kind of wall wart or a 12 volt supply that converts from 110 AC outlet or whatever you have locally, if it's 220, into a 12 volt supply to run this charger. All right, now alternatives continue. So we are on the kits. We're switching to a simpler setup. It's less flexible, but it's too many people were having problems finding 12 volt supplies. So we have gone with a similarly powerful charger. Maybe it's got a little more energy. It's 800 milliamps, I think it'll put out. So it's a little bit bigger than 550 of the other one. But this one plugs in the wall, and it'll do 110 to 220 volts. And so the way that works is you plug that one in, you get these LEDs lighting up, and then either one, there's a 2-cell and a 3-cell connection here. So we're going to do it, since it's a 2-cell pack, that's what we connect. and you'll notice that 2 of the LEDs have turned red. When those turn green, or everything turns off, I can't remember, then you have a charged battery. So that's the other mechanism. This will probably take about 2.5 hours to charge a completely depleted battery. Again, this will run either battery pack, this one or this one, because they are the same charge connector. Voila. All right. Moving on.